Hey, I'm Coach Caleb Lynn. I'm a part of the CrossFit Fiend community. I drop in whenever I can. I actually coach overseas in India, working with professional athletes in CrossFit gyms over there. I'm a CrossFit Level 3 certified coach, strength conditioning specialist, and a certified nutritionist. So I love adding value to this community, and I love you guys. And so I wanted to jump in and add whatever input that I can to help you guys through this nutrition challenge. It's not just about the food, it's not just about the weight loss or muscle gain, it's about you, it's about learning, and it's about continuing your journey towards health and fitness. And so I just want to share a little bit of insight, a little bit of tips, stuff off the top of my head, just what comes to mind first as far as what advice could I give you, or just as a friend, how would I help you guys through this challenge. And so whether you're going for fat loss, so I want to say fat loss instead of weight loss, because really the scale is just a number. Really what matters more is your health and how you look and feel. And so fat loss or muscle gain, whichever you're going for, my first tip is really just to leverage this community. You have so many people around you. Everyone can be learning side by side. Share your experiences, share your struggles, share the things you are learning, share the things you're trying. Really come together, work with each other. The power of the CrossFit community is unbeatable. Really, if you try to do this on your own, it's gonna be significantly harder, especially if you don't have the social support of anyone within your household or extended family and friends outside of the box. So leverage this community, connect with your friends and other batchmates within your class that you normally attend. So do this together, even if that means getting together outside the box, that's awesome. It's gonna help you move the dot forward a little bit more. And so if your goal is specifically with fat loss, or even if it's muscle gain, consider this a process. Consider this a launching pad. Consider this a learning experience. And so imagine you're like in an intense class or something like that, where you have a test at the end of the month. And so you're sort of cramming a little bit. So it's like information overload. It's trying different things. It's trying different techniques. It's like you're just seeing what sticks. And then when you test yourself at the end, you kind of see how far you've come, you see how much you know, then you take it forward. And if you really care about your results of the class, you actually care about, keeping that information and using it practically from then on. So with that, it's a part of the journey. It's just a step in the journey. And so mentally prepare yourself thinking that this is not just a fling, this is not just a short-term thing where it's like, okay, I'll lose a certain amount of weight or I'll get a little bit stronger, because it's just a stepping stone, especially if your goal is muscle gain. That is something that doesn't happen as fast as fat loss can happen. So consider this to be more of the stepping stone, understanding how much work it takes to break down some muscle, to gain some muscle, and how much you gotta eat in order to gain some muscle. And with fat loss, consider that this is a process, and the worst thing that you can do is to try to compare yourself to others. This is a journey with you. As far as your results, that's with you and you only. As far as what other people achieve or don't achieve, find ways to celebrate each other and encourage each other. Okay, that's the power of this community. Okay, so some more specific tips for fat loss. Okay, you can't beat the laws of thermodynamics. You can't beat the laws of energy balance, okay? So you really have to be in a calorie deficit. What does that mean? That means you gotta eat just a little bit less than you've been normally eating, okay? And so in order to understand how much you eat, it's really helpful to write it down, okay? Whether that's in your phone, in a note, whether that's logging on MyFitnessPal, it's not for everybody, or if it's writing it down on a physical piece of paper or a journal or a sticky note, something like that, whatever it is. It could even just be taking pictures. Whatever it looks like for you to log what you have, no judgment at all, just to look at it objectively and see, this is what I'm eating, okay? So understanding what you're eating now can help you understand how to cut out just a few small things. It doesn't have to be a specific food choice at first. Start with the small things, like I'm just gonna remove a late night snack, or I'm just gonna decrease this portion a little bit, okay? And from then on, you can focus on more of the actual food choices, okay? Once you got some confidence at understanding how much you are eating, then you can understand how much you can begin to eat less of, okay? And as you eat, especially for fat loss, you need to practice the skill of eating slowly, okay? That sounds like it's like completely unrelated to a diet, but it's actually one of the most important skills that you can learn to remove distractions while you're eating and eat slower. Take at least 15 minutes to eat your meal. That takes chewing. That might also change your food choices. If it's too easy to eat, you just swallow it after a couple of chews, then that's highly processed food that just goes down too easy, too quick. And so working on eating slower is gonna be a really powerful skill. And then the third tip that I'll give for the weight loss group would be to actually try to eat more whole food, specifically vegetables, okay? And also you can include fruits in that, but more focus on the vegetables, okay? And I'm not saying, I mean, a lot of people do, they say they hate vegetables, but maybe you just haven't discovered your favorite way of cooking them, okay? So they don't have to be raw. They don't have to be in their least tasty form, okay? Definitely don't recommend like lathering it in cheese and creamy stuff, or a cheesy dip or something like that. But find ways that you can cook it with as little oils or anything as you can. You can grill it, you can saute it, you can mix it into a dish, you can throw a bunch of spinach into a smoothie, whatever it takes to get more vegetables, because the power of vegetables is they're loaded with vitamins and minerals, those micronutrients that you need that make you just feel awesome. They're also loaded with water. And so along with those two things, they also contain a lot of fiber. And so all that stuff that just fills you up. So I challenge you to eat 3 to 5 servings of vegetables about the size of your fist every day, and see how much room you have left for every other food, okay? So, of course, coaches are gonna advise you to get enough protein to keep you full, to fuel you, and consider those other things from carbohydrates and fats to be more like fuel, okay? So, now for someone who's trying to gain muscle, it's the flip side of the energy balance equation. You wanna eat more than you're normally eating. And this does not give you permission to go out and eat cheeseburgers every day, to go out to fast food joints, and just so you can pack on tons of mass all at once. You're gonna gain fat mass rather than muscle mass. You're gonna gain that super fast, and you're not gonna like how you look, and you're not gonna feel super great either. You're gonna feel like you got a bunch of sludge in your veins, okay? So, eating good, clean, whole foods, but eating more is gonna be what it takes. You might even consider, if you struggle to eat a lot, spreading that food out throughout the day, taking snacks with you, higher calorie snacks that got a lot of protein and maybe even fats in them, stuff that's going to help you eat throughout the day. If you had the appetite, eat a little bit more at each meal. It doesn't have to be a significant amount. You don't have to be stuffed, but you might be a little bit fuller than you usually are, okay? And really for fat loss or muscle gain, all it takes is a few calories less or a few calories more each day, consistently done over time in order to create a significant change over time. If you do too much of a deficit, you might crash in a WOD specifically. If you do too much of a surplus, you're gonna gain too much fat mass along with some strength and muscle mass. And so there's kind of a cost. You have to decide what you're willing to put into, but don't wanna go too deep into this. Wanna give you guys some light tips, a few things, just thinking out loud for you. Hope this was really helpful for you. I'm really excited for you guys to take some initiative into this. But again, I want to point you back to the community. Come alongside each other, get to know each other, ask each other questions, see how it's going, share what you're learning, share what you're struggling with, pick each other up. This isn't just a coaches trying to teach you. This is you guys coming together to improve your health and fitness together.